Hello guys, welcome to another quarantine informative video. If you're new in the channel, let me walk you through the dynamics of these videos. Every Thursday we have one or two international guests so they can teach us a little bit about their countries. If you are keen in the content, please do not forget to comment and subscribe because that helps us a lot to keep doing these videos for you. Hope you like it. Stay tuned. In today's video, we are going to talk about Ireland. Also known as the Emerald Isle because of its beautiful landscape, Ireland is home to almost 5 million people that enjoy its culture, food, traditions, and history. This is the place that saw Bram Stoker and Oscar Wilde born. Thus, its worldwide cultural impact is inversely proportional to its geographically speaking small size. Forget everything you've learned about Ireland in TV or movies and let our experts guide you through this gorgeous country. First, we have Fátima Martínez Torres. She was born and raised in Mexico, whom at the age of 23 won a scholarship that allowed her to move to Ireland. A couple of years later, IBM saw her potential and hired her in that very same country. Ever since then, she has been living in Derry. She says Ireland is her second home. On the other hand, we have Roger Murphy. He is a 20-year-old Ireland man who has been living in Yucatan, Mexico for the last 2 years. He is currently studying robotics engineering at the UPY and he claims he found in Mérida the place where he wants to spend the rest of his days. In today's video, we are going to interview both of them to see their perception about Ireland. Do not forget to activate the notification button so you can be aware when we have a new video. Next week we are going to find out what the perception of Mexico is.
I have always wanted to become a robotics engineer, so studying abroad was not a hard decision for me to take. People in here is always asking me if I miss my family while being this far from them, which I do of course, but it is quite common for Irish to live or work abroad in fact. Actually, I have read that there are more Irish people living abroad than in Ireland itself, which I get it of course. Ireland is quite small compared to other countries, Just to give you an idea guys, the size of my entire island is about the size of Hungary, which is not much to say, There are of course 1,000 things I miss from my home, but Merida has been great. I totally fell in love with Mayan, Mestizo culture, and another facts that makes Merida interesting a lot.
I would hazard to say that the worst part of being in here is not related to Ireland at all, but the fact that I'm way too far from my family. It's been a while since I saw them, but being in here is been such an amazing experience. I've learned a lot about Ireland's history, culture, and people. What's more, Ireland is a great place for me to work. I don't know if you know this, but Ireland has an extremely low tax fees for companies, so it is very common to find in here international firms from all over the world and from all the sectors. For me, being in Ireland is an amazing career opportunity, so it is totally worth it. Maybe my answer is way too obvious, but the things that I miss the most about Mexico are my friends and family. I love my job, but I cannot wait to see them again. And if you ask me about something else, well, do not get me wrong, but I really love being in here, but I miss Mexican food as you cannot imagine. Ireland food is amazing, I have to admit. I have eaten some fish and chips which are amazing, colcannon, box tea, and so many other representative dishes based on potatoes, which is highly used in the Ireland cuisine. And I will say that I make a pretty decent porridge, but you have to understand that I was raised with tamales, tacos, tlayudas, and you have no idea on how much I miss nopales.
To be completely honest, there are two main things that I miss a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean it. Merida's cenotes are breathtaking, of course. It is still amazing for me to see people walking around logs, and I cannot believe that I'm living in the home of one of the world's wonders. But even though Merida has some amazing natural landscapes, I miss a lot those road trips surrounded by huge and beautiful mountains. Wow, that was amazing. Okay, let me explain myself. My island is surrounded with natural borders made of mountains in most of the territory. Besides that, we are located in the Atlantic Ocean. Man, whenever you can, please go and take a good camera with you. You will see landscapes that you will never forget. That is one of the things that I miss the most. Now, the other thing that I miss is St. Patrick's Day. I remember that before coming to America, I used to see in the news how American people celebrate the day, and even though we have different traditions for that day, it seemed pretty fun to me, of course. I thought it was going to be the same here in Mexico, but they don't even know what that day is, honestly. But if you are a Mexican and you don't know what St. Patrick's Day is, let me tell you that this is the most important celebration in my country. It is when we observe the day of St. Patrick, which is the patron saint of Ireland. Man, I miss it because it was a national party. We have food, music, dance, drinking. Everybody's dressed in green, of course. We also have parades and tons of different activities that make it an amazing celebration. I remember, sorry. I remember I used to have this tradition with my friends of going to a pub to get some paint and land the day. Well, it is tradition for me, you know. For me and my fellas, but it is quite common for Irish in general.
This is not my first time abroad. I have been in the USA, in Canada, and some other places, but this is the first time that I stay in a foreign country this long. My first days in here, I was kind of embarrassed because I had no idea that Irish had this very unique accent. So it was hard for me to understand them in the beginning. But they were always cool with me and they didn't bother to repeat what they said over and over. Irish are in general super friendly. Every time I meet someone new and I say I am Mexican, everybody is trying to help me as much as they can. They are very proud people, so they love to teach me about Ireland history, and I love to listen to them too. I remember I started a conversation the other day with this girl in a pub, and we started to debate about the similarities in our flags and the impact of Vikings in their history. This might sound geek, but I found it super interesting because I had no idea she was a history high school teacher. So she knew her stuff. For example, I had no idea Dublin was founded by Vikings. I have been in Dublin 1,000 times, and this is something guide tourists don't tell you. Speaking about pubs, wow, I already have a new business idea when I go back to Mexico, really. The first time I went to a pub, I remember seeing this girl walking in and I thought she was going to get kicked out because she was somewhere in the region of 16. But they served her coffee. Maybe this could sound totally normal for you, but I couldn't believe my eyes. A bar and a coffee shop at the same time? How smart.
Mexicans are definitely my favorite thing of Mexico. They are super friendly, and they are in general really good people. When I first arrived to Merida, I remember I felt a little bit awkward because the guy that received me at the airport welcomed me by shaking my hand. And I thought, oh my god, he was being rude with me. What the hell is he doing? But no sooner that I learned it is a common greeting in this part of the world. I have never seen an American movie about Ireland, but I'm very intrigued on what they show about us. Every time that I introduce myself as Irish, everybody invites me to a drink beer and asks me if I'm every way I eat. I mean, I get it, of course. Beer is within the roots of my country, and we have an incredible high percentage of people that drinks alcohol. I'm not that percentage, by the way. But it's something we do not often. I have some pretty good Yucatecan friends that I love, and they always invite me to their places to see a football match. Too bad they don't have Gaelic football teams here. I am pretty good at it.
Yes, definitely. Ireland is one of those places that might not sound that popular at the world's ears, but it is totally worth it, I promise you. The weather is perfect because it is in the middle point between cold and hot. The food is great and it is very competitive if we talk about job opportunities. I am actually saving some money to bring my family in here for holidays. I thought a lot about me going in there because of my budget, but they must visit this beautiful place. My mom loves seafood, so this place is going to be great for her stomach.
Oh, totally. Visiting Ireland is not an expense, but an inversion. There are so many things that you can learn about my country that can give you a wider perception of the world and of Europe, because we're pretty different than any other country you can visit in this continent. I would love to think that we, Irish, are as hospitable as Mexicans have been to me, and do not hesitate to send me a message for advice and stuff. And please, I encourage you to go and have fun.